Muslim vote appeal remark.
Let's now go across live and exclusive to Guwahati. Joining us from there is the BJP's biggest victor on this 2nd of May election counting day. He's been the man who's been leading the BJP's charge in the state of Assam. Joining us now for his first interaction on counting day, the BJP's powerhouse in the northeast, Himanta Biswa Sarma, now live with us. Himanta da, welcome to India today. I want to take our viewers through the numbers for Assam as I come across to you to talk about what is a remarkable BJP victory in a state where the demography is such that it doesn't suit a party like the BJP. You've been able to win more votes from last time, more seats from last time, and this, would you say at a time when the BJP is counting the losses of West Bengal, Assam is the crowning glory in the BJP's campaign today?
First of all, I do not consider that in West Bengal we have lost because incumbent government was of TMC and incumbent government will be, according to the present result, will be the Trinamool. BJP has gone up from 3 to a massively we have increased our number. We will be the principal opposition party. So we have not lost BJP as such. However, we have been able to retain Assam for the second consecutive time. This is for the first non-Congress government in Assam who is retaining power for the second time. This is a great news for all of us.
You've also been able to increase your vote share by 8%. The BJP alliance is up 8% from the last time. The Congress alliance, despite having a formidable alliance, is actually down from the last time. BJP itself picking up 55 seats, the AGP 11, the UPPL 9. So you were able to let go of the Bodoland People's Front. You were able to bring the UPPL in. Despite the Congress AUDF being together, you've been able to best them. How difficult was it to take on the arithmetic that is posed by the sheer numbers when Congress, AUDF and BPF are on the same ticket?
Rahul, I was sure from very first day that the female votes, basically our mother and sister will vote us heavily, irrespective of caste, creed and religion. And prima facie, what I am reading from the result, that female or women as they as a class have voted heavily in favor of the BJP because of our strong empowerment policy. Overall, this is a vote against appeasement and this is a vote for the development of Northeast.
Okay, now that one question which is really the 300-pound gorilla in the room when you're around, is Himanta Biswa Sarma going to this time be Chief Minister of Assam? You've been waiting in the wings for a long time, and many who are watching at this time will feel that this surely has to be your moment out in the sun when you get to be captain rather than vice captain.
Rahul, first of all, I leave this question to be answered by our parliamentary board. As you know that I am not the authorized person to give answer to this question. So I want to leave this question at like that only.
Kaushik Deka joins me now. He tracks the politics of Assam more closely than anybody else in our newsroom. Kaushik, what's your sense? Will, on the back of this performance, the BJP have to take cognizance of the role played by Himanta Biswa Sarma in scripting this victory? Or, because Sarbanda Sonowal can rightfully claim that he went in as Chief Minister, it was his government's track record which was under test, and the party is won under his leadership, so why change a winning team?
If BJP doesn't reward Himanta Biswa Sarma this time, and when I say reward, I do not probably mean he would not accept that in public, but I feel it doesn't mean that a central ministership or anything like that. With the chief ministership, then there are many things at stake, Rahul, particularly after the Bengal loss, the BJP's big plan to expand in the northeast. and forget about expansion, even to retain what has been achieved till now, say in Manipur or in Tripura or in Meghalaya or Nagaland or Arunachal Pradesh, including Assam. Himanta Biswa Sarma being in the team wholeheartedly should be there. And as we all know, every person would probably look for a reward after hard work. Every time if he is ignored like this, then probably his enthusiasm, as I can see that, will go down. And if his enthusiasm goes down, then a lot of people in Assam, and when I say people, these are normal people who would be writing on Facebook, who would be saying in public that even things are being said like this. Even if there is an AUDF government in Assam, we want Himanta Biswa Sarma to lead that government. So it's about one person. It has become, the victory has also become about one person, because his efficiency in handling particularly the COVID crisis. So there is a public demand that he should
I have a
be
problem,
made
Himanta
the
da.
chief minister.
You know, you had this interview with one of my colleagues when you were in the campaign trail. This is our colleague from Lallantau, where you kind of whisked him away, saying, what is, you know, you're a health minister, you're a pretty competent health minister, the state hasn't done badly, but do you accept now that made in the heat and the dust of the campaign, that comment was out of line and out of character, and maybe you want to regret it?
No. That if you go through that comment, because Congress at that point of time has actually started a campaign that lockdown is imminent, and lockdown, BJP government is going to clamp lockdown immediately. So we have to deny that, because you know, once you talk about lockdown, many small businessmen, many poor people feel that they are going to lose their livelihood. So that was my calculated move to debunk the theory of lockdown. So this was my calculated move, and people then recognized that no, there will be no lockdown even if BJP comes to power, and that Congress propaganda has been defeated. So it was not that Lalan Stop has asked me. That question was asked by many local media also. And I said that, look, I am not even wearing the mask. Where is the question of lockdown? So this was a political answer to a political propaganda.
Okay, I want to take our viewers through the region-wise breakup of Assam. In Upper Assam, of the 34 seats, the BJP is 126, the Congress Alliance only 7. In North Assam, the BJP has 112, the Congress Alliance only 3. In Lower Assam, the BJP has 121, the Congress 22. So a tight fight in Lower Assam. It's in the hills and the Barak Valley that the arithmetic of the AUDF Congress has paid dividends, where the Congress Alliance has doubled the number of seats of the BJP. In Central Assam as well, it's the BJP which is in front. Would you say that it's this Assamese pride, the ethnic Assamese, the question about identity that's helped you win, Himanta Biswa Sarma, in Assam, ensuring that the arithmetic of the AUDF Congress could not get together to beat you?
Rahul, Congress has played a bit critically or diplomatically rather. In the first phase, they have not talked much about Congress and UDF alliance. They have asked Ajmal not to campaign during the first phase, and they have asked Ajmal only to campaign from the second phase. That means they are aware from very first day that people of Assam, or basically mainstream Assamese, will not accept this unholy alliance. But as you know, that people know much better than what we political party think about ourselves. People has gone through that game plan, and people realize that it is a Congress-UDF alliance where Ajmal is calling the shots. So people has rejected that communal alliance. And as I told you in my last interview also, when we met during the parliamentary election, that Assam politics is always stands on two pillars. In one hand, this is a politics of development. Other hand, it is a politics of identity. So as always, I want to say very loud and clear that this is a vote for politics of development, as well as this is a vote for politics of identity.
Kaushik, do you have a question for Himanta Biswa Sarma, and also explain your reading of the results in Assam? why is it that you believe that the arithmetic of the simple arithmetic of the AIUDF, the Congress and the BPF couldn't beat the electoral chemistry of the BJP in Assam, in a state which is not easily inclined to favor the BJP?
My question, there are two questions. First is that I can see a rise in BJP vote share, but I do not see the seats increasing because I think BJP numbers are around 55, 56 at the moment, leading seats. Last time it was 60 seats. So that means a loss of at least 2-3 seats, if not less than that. And why, despite increase in vote share, where they have lost out? The second question is that I want a direct answer whether he would become a minister in Assam cabinet again. Just this question, that whether at least a minister in Assam cabinet, whether he will become that or not.
First of all,
Hello?
Kaushik, as you have seen me, Kaushik, to answer your question specifically, I sworn in as a minister in Assam from in the year 2002. So since 2002, 2020, I was minister in Assam cabinet, and I tried to did my best. I have served the state to the best of my ability. Regarding the future course of action, I don't want to comment anything right at this moment because this is the prerogative of BJP's parliamentary board. But as a Karyakarta, I would be always go by the advice, go by the direction issued by my central party, and I will follow that. Of course, as you know, that we have lot to do. We have promised a huge development for the people of Assam. We have to face the challenges of NRC, face the challenges of CEA. We have to face the challenges of delimitation of the constituency. We have to keep Assamese identity above all. So there are a lot of challenges before us, and we have to work like that.
So in a way, you are not ruling out becoming a minister again in Assam cabinet. You are not ruling that out.
Kaushik, I don't want to answer this question because the moment I want to say I ruled out or I ruled in, there will be lot of speculation, and I want to avoid all that at this point of time.
You're also one of the tallest leaders of the BJP in the eastern part of the country. So I want to spend a moment with you, Himanta Biswa Sarma, on West Bengal. Where do you think the party's calculation went awry? Of course, going from 3 to 76 is a very big achievement, undisputedly so, but still the BJP was hoping much more. Your Home Minister was constantly talking about 200 plus. The BJP on the ground was convinced that they were getting 180 or so. You know, you're about a third of what your expectations were. Where do you think the BJP fell short?
Rahul, in politics, we do not talk about what was our expectation during the election time or what a party actually expected. Because as a party, we'd love to have all the seats which are going for the elections. But a question we should ask Mamata Banerjee today, that why she lost 76 seats to BJP? What has happened? I mean, if you go by the vote share in West Bengal, why so many people has voted against Mamata Banerjee? Why so many people has voted for the BJP? I think instead of putting Mamata on the dock, media is trying to put BJP on the dock. Where as a Karyakarta, I feel proud that BJP has started its expansion right way. We have lost last time Orissa, but now in Orissa, by next parliamentary election, we will be a formidable force. Northeast with Assam victory, in simple word, that we have come here to stay for long. I think Bengal, we have increased this time 3 to 76, and by another 2 or 3 years, you will see that BJP's expansion will be completed. Today, going by the result of the West Bengal, Mamata should be worried. Mamata Banerjee should be thinking that how a right-wing party could get so many seats in West Bengal.
What does this mean for the Congress and for Rahul Gandhi? Because at this moment, the decks were being cleared for Rahul Gandhi to come back and get reappointed as president of the Congress party sometime in May or June. That was the thinking within the Congress, or at least in the Rahul camp. The defeat in Assam and the defeat in Kerala and the defeat in Puducherry, where does that leave the Congress in your view?
First of all, you must recognize that Kerala was not an ordinary state. Rahul Gandhi has migrated from Uttar Pradesh and adopted Wenar as his parliamentary constituency. So I think that arrival of Rahul in Kerala was a bad news for Kerala's Congress party. I am sure that going by his habit, going by his culture of politics, if he start micromanaging a particular state, that state is going to be lost in any way. Today, whatever the fate of Assam Congress, that was basically because of the wrong decision of the Rahul Gandhi. So I think in Kerala also, if you goes on interviewing now, you will see there must be lot of interference by Rahul Gandhi, lot of wrong decision by Rahul Gandhi. That is why Kerala has been lost. I think it is not a loss of Congress, it is a loss for Rahul Gandhi as far as Kerala is concerned. And with the loss of Puducherry, Kerala and Assam, I think Congress is gradually losing its national presence, and in 2024 election, I am sure that BJP will have to face regional parties. There will be no national party will be available in the political landscape of this country to take on Bharatiya Janata Party.
As someone who's been inside the Congress and has seen things on the inside, you know, many congressmen say that it's the Gandhi family that holds the Congress together, that without the Gandhi family there is no Congress, people will leave, the party will fragment. Is that a sense you share, or are you concerned that if the Gandhi family were to make way and for another president to be appointed, that could really begin the process of turning around the fortunes of the Congress?
The problem is today there is three important family members of the Congress party, right from Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi. All three are playing major role in the decision-making process. Never before in the history of Congress party, three members of the family has joined in politics and started micromanaging the party. Today, the democracy is lost in the party. And if you talk something to Priyanka Gandhi in confidence, later on that particular neutral observation will go to Rahul Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi will ask that question, why you have spoken like that. So today the Congress worker cannot talk in confidence with its leadership, because all the leadership are from the same family. Everything is decided in the dining table, and then whatever, whether it is a K.C. Benigopal or Ashok Gehlot or whatever, they have just the power to communicate. So in Congress, the crisis of democracy is now at its, basically it is at its peak. There is no democracy, internal, external, there is no democracy. And in my own view, Rahul Gandhi has not matured. We have waited Rahul Gandhi to be matured as a politician for too long, but he could not, unfortunately for Sonia Gandhi, he could not mature. And today, it is a immature leadership who is handling the Congress party.
Okay, the BJP has said that the returning officer of West Bengal has declared that the Nandigram seat has been won by Shuvendu Adhikari by 1736 votes against Mamata Banerjee. The TMC is contesting that, but it seems that Shuvendu may have won in a very tight fight. I travelled in West Bengal and I saw similarities between Shuvendu and yourself. Do you know him? Do you see similarities as well in the way that you think, in the way that you act between Shuvendu Adhikari? Both of you now are on the same, in the same political franchise.
I want to follow the footstep of Narendra Modi.
Okay, what does that mean?
I want to learn from Modi. I want to learn from Modi how people can selflessly work for this country. So I do not want to draw parallel with anybody. Just we want to grow as a Karyakarta under the footstep of Narendra Modi.
And you want to be Prime Minister one day like he is at present?
No, basically he is a Karyakarta, he is a proud Karyakarta of BJP. Prime Ministership is a responsibility. I think everyone in BJP should try to become a Karyakarta of that like Mr. Modi, and which is, I think, should be the goal of every BJP Karyakarta.
But there are those who would say that the central government has mishandled COVID, and that if India is in the mess that it is right now, people gasping for air, it is in part because the central government of the Bharatiya Janata Party failed to read how bad the situation would get, failed to prepare for it, failed to arrange the oxygen cylinders, because in part they were too busy campaigning in West Bengal.
Rahul, actually we have a different view on this, but when today when people are dying for oxygen, people are dying for medicine, I think I do not want to enter into a debate. But one thing you must remember, that Modi, Prime Minister Modi has led COVID fast way from the front, and I am sure that he will do that again. Today you see that India is among the first 12 countries to have its own vaccine, indigenous vaccine. People are not giving credit for it. Today people are demanding vaccine, but when Prime Minister has announced that vaccine, so many people has questioned in the studio that whether this vaccine is fit to be actually vaccine should be taken, whether it is safe or otherwise. During the first February-March month in Assam, nobody wants to take the vaccine because they said COVID se marna theek hai, vaccine se marne se. So that was kind of propaganda that was spreaded across the country. Today, when we are not debating that when vaccines should be available, we are not encouraging people to produce more and more vaccine. We are asking a vaccine manufacturer that why you have charged this much or that much. Ultimately, it is the market who will market will stabilize the price. If you start threatening two particular company that look,
okay,
if you don't give 150, then you will be dubbed as anti-national. I think this COVID war cannot be win unless we all rallied under Prime Minister Modi as Prime Minister, not as a leader of BJP, and we should work together for to combat COVID, and I am sure that we will come out of COVID with flying
so
colors.
we'll leave it over there.